So we have an interesting thing going on with one of these still life renders, and it seems that everything is going right. All the settings seem to be correct, but we're getting all of these weird artifacts. And while this looks very, very cool and like a disco, it's not the effect that was intended. And we have to figure out what is going on here. So we're looking at our scene here, and everything looks to be okay here. And we have to track down what we have to do is track down one at a time all of these elements and find out what is going on. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to open up my outliner and just see if there's any extra lights in here. And we have 3 lights going on in here. And I also want to open up my hypershade and just kind of go through the hypershade when this opens up here and look at some of the settings that are going on here, just to make sure that everything is right. And it seems like all of the settings are right, and we're just kind of not quite sure what exactly is going on. One of the things is that I did when I was trying to track this down is that there are 2 Dialetric shader engines going on, and I kind of got rid of one here. I deleted the connection for this one and did a render, and it really didn't do what I thought was going to happen. So what I suspect is going on is that there's something going on with the settings in one of these lights, and I'm not quite sure which one of the lights it is. So the first thing I'm going to do to troubleshoot this is I'm going to select the lights, and I'm just going to bring them down. I'm just going to bring down the intensity for each one of these lights. So basically there are no lights. There's nothing lighting this scene. Now when I go to render it, we're going to see something kind of interesting. Now I've taken down all the intensity on the light. However, look, there's still something lighting the scene, which leads me to believe that this is not user error. The person, the animator, the artist that set up the scene did everything right, but there's something screwy going on with Maya, and we have to track that down. So the procedure to do is to take each one of these lights here, and let's see if we were to delete this light here, which is a point light, which is like a backlight that's going on. If we were to delete that and do a render here, we might see the same results. I actually know which light it is because I've already gone through this troubleshooting process. But the troubleshooting process might go through this process of deduction, or eliminating one element, seeing what's going on. I'm going to bring that back. And what is actually going on is it's this directional light here. And when I deleted this directional light and did a render here, I noticed that, well, this problem went away. Actually, all the lights went away. Well, I have all the lights off now. So that leads me to believe that it's the directional light that's the problem here. So I'm going to bring this directional light back. I'm going to bring up the intensity back on these lights here. I forgot what they were, but you know, it was 0.1 or something like that. Let's delete this directional light and see what happens again when we have just the point light and the spotlight. And you can see that, well, okay, that's really kind of not the problem here. Alright, well, let's bring back our directional light and let's try another light. So if I have the light selected in our attributes editor, I can change the type of light, and I'm going to change it to a spotlight. I like working with spotlights. I'm used to using their properties. I like how they work physically, and they just give me the type of properties that I like to work with. So I'm going to bring that intensity up on this spotlight to about 0.5. We can see the interaction here. Let's see, let's change that a little bit, and let's just kind of make the cone angle just a little bigger, just like that. Okay, and let's see if this will solve our problem. And as you can see, that little problem that I had went away. Alrighty then, so now if I were to open up that that scene again, knowing what the problem is, I can pinpoint that problem right off the bat, leaving those other settings. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to select this light, I'm going to change it to a spotlight like that. I'm going to adjust the cone angle a little bit like that, and let's do a render and see what our render will look like. And there we go. And now we can move on. As you can see, there's the dielectric isn't dialed in here. That probably needs to be played with a little bit. But now, as you can see, those artifacts that were going on, let's turn this around here, and we can see that we have a good dielectric property going through. Even though that sphere is black, we could probably go through and play with that property, just getting that dielectric highlight, and we have a good start here on this scene with reflections, refractions, caustics, global illumination, and whatnot.